This video is to explain to you a way of easily calculating the area of a non-right triangle if you happen to know one of the angles and a couple of the sides. This formula is not really a necessary part of your math life, except for the fact that the SAT uses this formula and every single IB option also uses the formula. So it's kind of good to already be familiar with the formula before you go into 11th and 12th grade. So we'll spend a little bit of time on this. Okay, so look at this triangle we have here. We know two of the sides and we happen to know the angle in between the two sides. Okay, let's say that you're going to use your knowledge of area of triangles, which is probably this formula that you can take 1/2 times the base times the height or the altitude of the triangle and multiply it by 1/2, and that gives you the area of the triangle. So let's use that formula and see what we get, okay? Especially now that we know how to use sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay, so we already know the base. The base is 7. We just don't know the height yet here. But we do know the hypotenuse, okay, and the angle of the right triangle formed by the height or the altitude, okay? Do you see we've made a miniature triangle by drawing an altitude through the middle of this non-right triangle? We've drawn a right triangle through half of it. Okay, so let's write out a trig formula for relating the sides and the angle of this smaller triangle. I'm going to use sine, and you're going to see why. If I take the sine of 21.8 degrees, that is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. The opposite in this case is the height, which we don't know yet. I'm going to put small h, and the hypotenuse is 5. So, and then I'm going to solve for h, solve for small h. So I'll get 5 times the sine of 21.8 degrees. Once I get that, I'm going to put that into the area formula because the whole point of this is to find an expression for the area. In here, I'm going to put in the value of the base, which happens to be 7. And I'm going to put this expression we just found for small h, or the height, which is 5 times the sine of 21.8 degrees. Okay? So now we have this expression for the area of a non-right triangle, and what it's based on is three pieces of data. One is an angle, which is this angle here, 21.8 degrees. We'll call it angle big C. And then of two sides. The two sides are this side and this side, right? It's the included, we have the included angle between these two sides. So we have side A, side B, and these are kind of interchangeable, right? And then we have angle big C. Now we're going to rewrite this expression that we just wrote, which is area, using these variables. So we're going to have 1/2 times small a times small b times sine of big C. Okay? So this is a formula that we can always use without having to stop and calculate the height anymore. What we just did is we calculated the height first in order to use the formula A equals 1/2 BH. But with this new formula, we don't have to calculate the height anymore because we've already figured out a special formula using the sine between these two sides, and we just multiply together the two sides. Okay, so let's do an example. My example is so I have 5, 7, and 21.8 degrees, right? Okay, so I'm going to say, what is the area of this triangle? Oh, well, I know that it is 1/2 times these two sides and multiplied times the sine of the included angle. So what do? I go to my calculator. I'm going to say, what is the sine of 21.8? And it's equal to 0.190 And everything else I just multiply out. So 0.190 times 5 times 7 times 0.5. And my answer is 3.32. Okay, and that's it.